Hi, I'm Arthur Levine, the one who didn't win an award. I want to salute Dr. Charles Chen and the Yidan Foundation for creating a Nobel Prize for Education and augmenting the original model by focusing on impact. I'm honored to share the stage with an education revolutionary who's won a bushel of awards and honors, who's been called a game changer, a pioneer, an educational visionary. Today we're going to talk about SHI and about the disruptive institution, University of the People, he imagined and created. What stands out about this is not simply that it's a fascinating institution that's doing important things. It's the context of the world in which he created it. Today we're shifting from national analog industrial economies to global digital knowledge economies. Change of this magnitude, duration, and speed occurred only once before in modern history, the Industrial Revolution. Along with the rest of society, higher education was transformed. The medieval university can't wait to see what he wrote. Well, the curriculum descended from the Greek trivium and quadrivium, gave way to universities, research universities, graduate schools, technical and professional schools, and in the United States, two-year colleges. What's interesting about this, and SHI is a real example, is that change came from outside, not from mainstream existing institutions. New institutions were created, brand new institutions with names like Cornell, Johns Hopkins for research and graduate study, and MIT for technology. Education entrepreneurs drove the change. They were the models mainstream institutions emulated. And the same thing's happening right now. We're going through the same 8 stages, which is criticism by the Society of Higher Education, rejection of the criticisms by higher education, experimentation, the advance of new models like University of the People, diffusion, standardization, and scaling up. At the vanguard of today's effort are UOP and Shira Chef, an entrepreneur and a new institution. They're going to model the future of higher education. So having said that, let me ask you a few questions about University of the People. The first is, what is it?
Well, after this introduction, I better not say anything. I better leave the stage right now. That will be the best way to conclude the discussion.
Are there any questions?
So what is University of the People?
Yes.
So University of the People is a non-profit, tuition-free, accredited American online university dedicated to open the gates of higher education for those who previously had no other opportunity. It's a university that offers accredited degree. However, it is there for those who, for any reason, couldn't attend higher education. Either it is because of financial reasons, because universities are too expensive, either because they live in countries where there aren't enough universities. Africa, in every country in Africa, there is a shortage of seats in the existing universities, either for political reasons. Refugees would be the best example. Cultural reasons, well, Afghan women, it might be political, it might be cultural, it might be religious, but they are deprived from higher education. And every other person that for personal reasons cannot attend higher education, we use technology to bring the education to them, to enable them to have higher education experience.
That's wonderful. Who are your students?
The students are those, we have now 137,000 students coming from 200 countries and territories. Some of them are survivors of the genocide in Rwanda, the earthquake in Haiti, people who simply sell fruits on the streets of Africa, homeless in the US, undocumented in the US, refugees from all over the world. We have more refugees than any university in the world. We have 16,500 refugees. So all the people who have no other alternative find themselves coming to us.
Who teaches at the University of the People?
Our teaching, the university is built, we are tuition free. Our ability to be tuition free is by using technology, by operating from every part of the world, by having few programs, but the main reason that enables us to be tuition free is because we lean on volunteers. We have over 40,000 volunteers. Most of them are professors. Most of them are American professors, not only, but many of them. And these are the people who actually teach with us. They are coming from all sorts of universities from the US, and they are pro bono, giving their time, expertise, knowledge, and prestige to build the university.
The model includes tuition-free, volunteer faculty. What's the financial model for University of the People? I know I couldn't pull that off.
Well, I think that the university, our financial model is, first of all, the students take the courses for free. They study for free the entire course. When they get to the exam, by the end of each course, we ask them to pay $120 per each end of course assessment fee, which ends up to be $4,800 for a full BA degree for as long as it takes them. We let the students, by the way, up to 10 years to complete a degree, to complete BA. Half of our students don't have even these $120, so they're on scholarships. Our mission is that nobody will be left behind for financial reasons. So half of the students pay this $120, half of them do not. And this makes us sustainable, financially sustainable. And the reason we can be sustainable from this small amount of money or ultra low cost model is because first we use technology wherever we can achieve quality, wherever the technology can help us achieve the quality at a reduction of price. We operate from many parts of the world, again, where we can achieve quality. So while almost all of our academics are in the US, our technology is in the West Bank, Palestine. Our student-facing services are in India, and we have people from all over the world, including Egypt, South Africa, etc. We offer very few degrees, only business administration, computer science, and health science, bachelor level, master of education, information technology, and IT, master level programs. We don't let the students we don't offer a lot of electives. We actually tell the students take this course and then this course and this course to enable them to move as fast as possible toward a degree, but at the same time save us a lot of money by having a lot of electives and finding ourselves offering a course with 3 students. It won't happen with us. And we don't have buildings. This is also important. It saves us a lot of money. And as I said, the volunteers, our president's council, all volunteers obviously are the presidents of Columbia, Berkeley, McGill, Edinburgh, and many other universities. We are partnered with NYU, McGill, Edinburgh, Ifat University of Saudi Arabia, Harvard Business School. So we have quite a few partnerships, but all this enable us to offer what we offer at a fraction of price of other universities, but still have a high quality offering to our students.
How did you decide to do this? You had an amazing career as an education technology entrepreneur, and then one day you decided, I know, I'm going to open up a university with universal access. How did you do this?
So I spent over 20 years of my life in for-profit education. Among other things, I started the first online university in Europe through partnership with the University of Liverpool. So University of Liverpool Online is actually my creation. And that's where I discovered how online, it was my first revelation of what online is, online learning. And I discovered how powerful it is, because we had students from all over the world. We have students from Hong Kong. They can stay home, stay with their families, keep their job, and still get this University of Liverpool degree. It was an amazing thing for me to realize that people can do that. But I also realized at the same time that for most people it was simply too expensive. In the US, people pay for education. Outside of the US, they pay less. And most people couldn't afford it. I ended up selling this university. It was for profit and the rest of my business. And I came to New York on a semi-retirement, just so my family will tell me that they understand the point and I should do something with myself. Retirement is not really for me. I'm too hyper. So I looked around and I realized that everything that made this European university so expensive is available for free. Open source technology, open educational resources. Usually I explain what it is, but I guess that here the people know what open educational resources is. And I found websites, platform where professors came online and helped students with their homework for free. And they said, free resource, free technology, free resources, and free professors. All you need to do is to put it together and create a tuition-free university. So I did.
Very simple. How did you actually do this? How did you create this university? You had a great idea. How did you make it real?
Well, I think that first of all, I mentioned the European university, so I knew how to build a university and how to run online university. So I had the experience. The missing part was how to make it almost free. And that's where the volunteer mainly came. I had the idea. To be honest, I didn't know how complicated it is to create a university, because then we work with Liverpool, so it seems to me very easy. So I simply announced that I'm creating a university, a tuition-free university in a conference in Munich. And the next day, the New York Times wrote a page about it. Tuition-free university was quite a unique thing at the time, still is. And the day after the New York Times wrote about it, I had hundreds of emails by professors who said, wow, we love the idea. We want to help you make it happen. And they made it happen. So it was simple.
How confident were you that you could pull this off?
How what?
Confident were you that you could pull this off?
Well, to be frank, I don't think I really realized all the complications. I knew how to, from my previous experience, I knew how to recruit professors, how to write curriculum, how to recruit students, but the academic setting was not really fully clear to me, because University of Liverpool at the time was in charge of it. I think that I thought it would be easier than it was. I thought that, you know, it's a university, it's like any business. University is not any business. But I think that more than anything else, I had amazing people come to help it happen. And we were, in a way, lucky. So between the two, it just happened. And obviously, we are here with 15 years later with a accredited university with 130,000 students. So it happened.
What obstacles did you encounter?
I think that the main positive surprise that I had when I created the university is the goodwill that is out there. The amount of people that were willing to come and help was unbelievable. You know, we have a president council with 25 leading presidents of the leading universities in the world, and people ask me, how did you get them? I didn't get them. They came and they volunteered to be on our council. So people come and people really, when they see good things that you're trying to do, they really want to help. So that was a positive surprise. The two things that were harder for me, first was fundraising. I come from the business world. The last thing that anyone can say about me that I'm naive, I'm not. And when I created the university, I said, wow, this is an amazing idea. Everyone, will come and donate money. It will be a piece of cake. It was not. It still is not. So raising money was tough, especially at the beginning. One of the things that I haven't realized is that when you come with a new idea, a revolutionary idea, people are a little bit afraid. People people donate to things that are safe. Things that are revolutionary, it's like, wait a second, let us see how it works before we jump on board. So this was tough. I think that the second thing is spreading the word. The first year, because it was so unique, we had over 2,000 articles about us. But still, most of the people haven't heard about us. I bet that even you, that you are in education, many of you, before reading the invitation and the prize, you haven't heard about University of the People. I'm still even now shocked when someone on the street, I say University of the People, and they said, we know what it is. I'm surprised. Most people haven't heard about us. The challenge is not the people on the street. The challenge is the people who really need us. According to UNESCO, in 2025, there will be 100 million people who do not have seats in the existing universities that will be then. These people need us. We are an opportunity for them. Probably we are the only opportunity for them, but they need to know that we exist, and they don't. How do you spread the word? And that was and still is quite a big challenge for us.
What about things like accreditation?
Accreditation, we are accredited by the DAC, Distance Education Accreditation Commission in the US. We received accreditation in 2014. It was quite a long road. Think about it that we started in 2009. It took us 5 years to receive our initial accreditation. It was challenging, first of all, because you need to meet the standards of the accreditation agency, and in our case, because we are so different, and we don't have like a full-time faculty for 10 or 20 students, how do you prove that you have the right support to the students? How do you prove that the learning outcome is up to the standards? So we have a long road to do that, and we achieved accreditation in 2014.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Later on, we were asked by our students to pursue regional accreditation. Well, according to the American Department of Education, they are all equal. In reality, people perceive regional accreditation more than they perceive a national accreditation. The DAC is national, and as such, we decided to pursue regional accreditation as well, WASC, Western accreditation. And we received eligibility. The next step was candidacy, and we hope that the next step, well, we more than hope, but we're working very hard that the next step will be accreditation by WASC as well. Yeah.
How much of what exists now did you initially imagine?
I think that, in essence, most of the things that we envision exist. Well, tuition-free, the idea was we announced from day one that we will be tuition-free. We are tuition-free. Originally, we announced that we'll charge a very small amount according to the countries of residency. We charge very small amount, but not according to countries of residency. We knew that we want to build it on volunteers, but we did not know how many volunteers we'll find, how easy it will be to find volunteers, but it works. I think that the one thing that I didn't envision is how much we will need to adhere to accreditation policies, make sure that we meeting all the learning outcomes that are being required, that we need to have all the policies in place, etc. I'm not necessarily, by the way, saying that it's a bad thing. It's something that I simply didn't know, but because I didn't come from a university. But I think that accreditation, in a way, help us to become a better organization. It's something that I've not realized at the beginning. We were forced to do it in order to achieve accreditation, and in a way, we are thankful to it. In a way, we feel that we do a lot of things that would have saved us a lot of time not to do them, so yeah.
So what have you learned along the way?
I'm speaking a lot to our students, and at least twice a year I have like email that I send all of our students. And by the way, I send it from my email address, so I'm getting like all these emails back from them. And the one thing that I keep telling the students is don't give up. Our students coming, they're coming from difficulties. And there are a lot of things along the way that prevent them from studies. They have difficulties. Many times they want to quit. There are a lot of things that happen to all of us, but when you're coming from difficulties, if you're a refugee, for example, you tend to have a harder life than we do. And a lot of things happen that, in a way, tend to lead you to a conclusion that you have to stop. Sometimes it's simply because you got a bad grade. Sometimes it is because something happened to your family. And I keep telling our students, don't give up. Don't give up because eventually you came to us with a reason. You came to us in order to have a better future. Don't give up your future because you have difficulty. Moreover, for every student who come to us, we have program advisor. We have a team of program advisors that support our students along the way from the day they sign up until they graduate. And one of their main objectives is to be there for the students where the students have difficulties. And if we identify that students' grades are dropping or they stop participating, it's their role to contact the students and encourage them. And again, encouragement is a very important thing. So that's what I tell the students, and that's what I tell myself. Don't ever give up. And I'm like the energizer, the bunny that never stops. So, yeah, I mean, I never stop, and that's, I think, the secret for success.
By comparison, I think the Energizer Bunny is suffering severe muscle problems compared to you. Okay, so in 15 years, how will the University of the People be different?
I'm not sure that I have a good answer. I once found myself, after I created the university in 2010, I was at the Clinton Global Initiative, and following the earthquake in Haiti, I announced that we're going to take 250 students in Haiti and teach them for free. And it was quite a major task, because what I haven't realized with this announcement is that there was earthquake. The people live in tents. They don't have electricity. They don't have internet. How did they think that they're going to study with that? So we partner with local NGOs, and we build centers for them, and I came to congratulate them when they started the first 18 students. It was in November 2010. And I also met potential students there. And when I came, and it was recorded, my conversation with them, and when I came back to New York, I listened to the video. And I found myself saying in the video that a student asked how many students we are going to have. And I said then, We are going to grow and grow and grow and grow until one day we'll wake up and see that all the students in the world are being served. At that point, we go back to sleep and wake up with a new dream. So in 15 years, the question is how many students will need us. So I believe that we are going to continue growing. There are so many people in the world that need us. So this is one thing that will happen. The second thing, and we will be much bigger. The second thing, we build a model. We build a model that other universities can replicate. You've heard about how we did it, and we have not invented anything. We took everything that was out there, put it together, and create a university. Other universities can do the same. And the mission is much bigger than University of the People. The mission, the goal is that every single student in the world will have an opportunity for higher education. And I hope that others will do the same, and the students will be served. Until then, we are going to continue growing. In 15 years, maybe all the students will be served, maybe not. I think that I hope, and I'm not sure, I hope that that will happen way sooner than 15 years from now, is that we will be able to work with a government, hopefully in Africa. I had a conversation with Ruth about it over lunch, to take a country and solve the entire challenge of seats, the lack of seats in higher education. So we can show that in any country where there is huge demand for higher education but not enough seats, there is a solution. And the solution is online. And it's like when there was landline and then come the cell phone, you don't need to give landline to supply landline to everyone, because people can jump right to cell phone and everyone can be connected. The same is with online. You don't need to build more and more and more universities, tens of thousands of universities in order to serve all the people. You can go online, and in online setting, nobody needs to stand in the back of the lecture hall. Everyone can be accommodated. We want to do it in a country, to work with the government, hopefully in Africa, to make sure that all the students in the country will be served, to show other countries that they can solve these challenges well. Enough?
Yeah, maybe not. People don't seem to be sleeping. Okay, so let me pick up on that and say the fastest population growth and the lowest access is in the global south. When University of People expands, how do you move into a new country? How do you move into a new region?
This is a good question. And right now, we have our model, and every place we go, students come to us. We don't work with local partners. We don't work with governments. We don't work with NGOs. We simply come and go directly to the students through a social media, sometimes through a little bit of a Facebook advertisement, and in many cases through the media, PR, and spread the word, and students come to us. It works. We have close to 40,000 students coming from Africa. We have 40,000 students coming from the Arab world. There is some overlap. North Africa is Arab speaking. So the students come to us. However, we haven't concentrated in any country up to now. It was always, let's spread the word. So many people need us, they will come to us. I guess that if we want to succeed in a country, we need a dedicated effort to a country, which will mean both local representation, work with the local media, local advertisement, maybe even local places for students to take exams. People can take exam either in a local center or at a physical proctor or online proctoring, but having facilities in the country can be helpful. But it is right now we have no single country that we dedicated effort to succeed there. And since we're growing so much, we don't feel that we need to concentrate in a country, but I do agree, you know, having 1/3 of our students from the global south or from Africa is amazing, but Africa needs us much more. And we need to do much more in Africa, and I hope to find partners there to do way more than what we do. Yeah.
This morning, when we talked about the wonderful innovations in India and Colombia and in 62 countries around the world, we were told about the importance of partnerships. We were told about the importance in building an infrastructure in every country they went into or every region. Does that make sense with your model as well?
It's a tough question, and I'm not sure I have a good answer.
Okay.
Our success so far is having no partners. We just go and do what we know how to do. We don't need anyone to help us. We don't need anyone to interfere with what we do. Usually, when you have partners, you know, you need to work with the partners, and you need to make compromises, and you need to see what their needs are, and to find the way to work with them. We haven't done it so far. I'm sure, though, that in the long run, we'll get to the point that in order to continue growth, we will need local partners.
Yes.
And, you know, one of the things that we have a program in Arabic. And Arabic for us work, well, in 2012, the war in Syria started, and a lot of people left Syria, and then we realized that we have tens of thousands, close to 100 Syrians who applied to the university, but couldn't make it because of the language, because we teach only in English. And we were in a situation where we felt like these are the people who need us more than anyone else. So we decided to launch a program in Arabic. And we have a BA in Business Administration in Arabic, huge success, 26,000 students studying in Arabic with us, 40,000 students from Arab countries, 26,000 of them are studying in Arabic. And that was the first wave, and we did it ourselves. Again, we did have some partners, but the partners were more kind of like social websites for refugees where we spread the word about our offering. Now we are considering moving into Spanish. I think that in order to do Spanish, we do need partners. Well, first of all, we need resources. So we won't be able to make it unless we find the funding for that. But assuming we find the fundings, we need to learn more about the situation in Latin America. It's many countries. It's different from one country to the other. The role of accreditation, the regulations, the need actually for our program is different in each country. So I think that we will need partners. Partners will be important, first of all, in order to understand the situation on the ground. By the way, I think that in Africa we need it as well, to have partners on the ground, to understand the situation, but also to understand how to navigate with the government, with the local, with the potential students, with the local universities. So I think that in Spanish we are going to work with the local partners, and in the future we'll have many more.
Do you have any sense of what it costs to add a new language?
What it costs to us. With $1 million, we can have a full program in Spanish, if all of our program being ready to run in Spanish, in order to break even in Spanish, meaning we start running it, have students, when you start running, it's not only translation, you need to have staff and you need to have technology, so all this will be $1 million, but then you have staff that you start paying for, and after 5 years with $5 million, we'll break even. That's our business plan for Spanish and for any other language. Yeah.
What I can say, the notion of having 137,000 students is extraordinary. The president of MIT and I decided we'd create a freestanding college. After 5 years, we had 80 students. You've done better.
How much did it cost you? That's the question.
You don't want to know. $20-odd million. What's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear. I think that my biggest fear is that if we get to the point that we feel that, I always say that we will continue to grow as long as we can maintain the quality. If we can't maintain the quality, we'll stop growing, either fix it and resume growing or not resume growing. I think that my biggest fear is that we get to the point where we feel that we can't continue our growth, because that's our mission, to serve as many students, or that we will be stopped by external something, government or someone that will have interest that we will be our disruption. Remember, we are disrupting the current system, and it's threatening. Well, that's the fear, that we will be stopped for unknown reason.
Fair enough. Can a university that's free, that has a volunteer faculty, have an impact on the rest of higher education?
Most definitely. First of all, we show, well, the fact that we are there and we offer education at a fraction of price of other institutions mean that other institution needs to look and say, what does it do to us? And if we continue, as you know, institutions in the US are being closed these days. Many cannot simply, students cannot afford the cost of higher education, and students cannot afford the cost of higher education, and many universities struggle these days to survive. We're showing an alternative model. It's very hard for existing university to adopt our model. You have tenure faculties, you have buildings. How can you reduce cost? On the other hand, I think that they have no chance, no choice. They have to change their model. I think that in the future, universities will have to decide what exactly they offer, what is the price point for their offer, and how they adjust their cost structure to be able to be competitive. I think that some universities need to merge in order to survive. I think that others will simply close down. I think that most others will specialize and come to the point that they offer something specific. They know what's the price point for what they offer, and that's where they will be. So, for example, a university can come and say, I'm Northeast X city X, and if you are from my region and you want to study with your peers, your friends, your neighbors, and you want to find a job locally, come to us. But what's the price point for it? $30,000 a year compared to University of the People that charge $1,200 a year? Probably not. So what do you do in order to attract the students? Maybe you come and say, if you want, I don't know, to specialize in ancient Greek, I'm the best place in the world to do that. What's the price point for it? So I think that universities will have to adjust their offering and their prices. From that perspective, we are, we are simply making this process. It didn't happen because of us. I don't think that we are the reason for that, but I think that we are catalyzing the process, and we will force universities to think slightly different about what they do and how they do things. It starts in the US because the cost of higher education is so expensive. But all of you that are outside of the US, as you all know, the government's participation in education is in most countries of the world decreasing. Well, universities are under pressure. It will get there as well, so it's not only a US phenomenon. Yeah.
Let me ask you a few detailed questions. Can you talk a little bit about assessment, program assessment, quality control, student quality?
I'll start with students' quality. We have a very different admission path. Every student with a high school diploma or equivalent is welcome to come and take 2 courses with us. It's a path for admission. You take 2 courses, you need to pass them before you become a student. It's extremely important, first for the students. You know, we are a peer-to-peer learning. Many students resent it. We are, you know, you need to be self-disciplined. You need to be motivated. A lot of students are not. So students come, experience what we offer, and they said, wait a second, that's not for me. Others want to continue, but they simply cannot meet our academic standards, which is okay. They got a chance, they can take these courses again, but before you pass these 2 courses, you cannot continue with us. We lose over 50% of the students in these 2 courses. This is our admission path. We open the gates as wide as possible. However, we have this selection to make sure that only the qualified can continue. When they come to us, our academic standards are quite high. All of our programs are being evaluated by other faculty, peer-evaluated universities from other universities. By the way, every course that is being developed by a subject matter expert under the supervision of the deans and the advisory board. All the programs are regularly evaluated by other professors from other universities. And obviously, we measure our learning outcome in every single course. So we are meeting our academic standards.
Realistically, what's your goal for graduation rates? That's really not a fair question, and I know it.
I think I will say, I will divide the answer into 2. First of all, when we started the university, it was all about opening the gates. We open it wide, anyone can start. Along the way, we realized that we need to be more careful about whom we bring in, because if you can't make it, it's just a shame for you to be there and not be able to complete a degree. After opening the gates wide, the second stage for us was to realize that we need to improve quality. Talking about learning outcome, improving the quality of the training that the professors get, the quality of our programs, etc. The third part was working on retention. And that was extremely important, because what we realized is that while not everyone can complete a degree, you can help the students do way better. And I mentioned it before, you know, if you sometimes just call the students when they struggle and help them stay, they might continue the degree while they would have dropped otherwise. Sometimes it's giving them help with their homework. Sometimes it's simply come to the students and say that they take 2 courses and they struggle, and tell them, listen, why don't you withdraw from 1 course? Take only 1 course this term, do well, rather than take 2 courses and fail them. So retention is a big deal, and we improved dramatically our retention. Right now, our potential graduation is 60%. 60% meaning from the students who are in the system and potentially will graduate from each cohort is 60%. I hope that we'll get to 60%. That will be probably, I wouldn't say how many times more than other online universities, but that would be quite shocking if we can get to that, and I hope that we will. And I hope that between the amazing effort that we do in our retention and the usage of AI that we are planning to implement, we can do great.
We're running out of time, but can you talk about the use of AI?
Yeah. Okay, we'll stay for another hour. And so, in brief, we feel that AI is the future of higher education. And by the way, I don't think that Charles Yidan is here, but thanks to the Yidan prize money, we are going to invest in AI, and we are going to do a few things with it. First of all, is to help us create courses. The AI ChatGPT can create the courses for you. Yes, you need to look at what it creates and correct it and change it, but it can do 80% of the job. Second, you can, students in computer science don't need to learn computing anymore. ChatGPT can compute for them, can program for them. You need to teach them how to use ChatGPT to program instead of teaching them how to program. But third and foremost, and that's what I'm referring to, AI can predict students at risk and know when the students are at risk before they even know that and intervene. ChatGPT can answer the students' questions. Why do you need the instructor to answer a question? And you can make sure that you have all the content from which the questions are being taken, the answers are there, and help. So you can use it. It can dramatically improve the quality of the education. It can save the faculty's time, which is for us very important because they are volunteers. So you can improve their experience, you can improve how they're doing, and AI is there to stay. By the way, just as a general rule, we believe that rather than telling the students don't use AI, give them questions that the AI can answer and ask them to look at it and give their input into what they got. And tell us what they learn and what they don't learn and what is right and what is wrong. So embrace the AI the right way rather than reject it. That was the short version.
Let me ask you two quick questions. For somebody sitting in the audience who has a very big dream, who's imagining something on the scale that you've created, what's your advice for them? Don't do it.
Yeah, think twice before you do it. Get all the advice in the world if you really know what you're talking about, and other people cannot challenge you with questions that you don't have answers. But if you're certain that this is the right idea, go for it and never give up.
One more quickie, and then we have some great questions from the audience. The other one is, what's the next act?
The next?
Shai Reshef.
University of the People. I'm there, and that's my next steps until probably I can't continue, so.
Ask the question again when you have 10 million students.
Exactly. Well, let's start with 1 million.
And here are some of the questions you've gotten from the audience. One is, how do you help students get jobs?
Good question, and thanks for asking. I mentioned that originally the first step was opening the gates for everyone. Then we went into the academic quality and then into retention. Our current step is helping our students find a job. We signed an agreement with virtual internship that offer every single one of our students the opportunity for remote internship, including refugee in refugee camps, including women who study. We have 3,000 Afghan women studying behind closed doors in Afghanistan, hiding but studying with us. We are going to offer them a remote internship as well. So hopefully they will be able to find a job remotely. 25%, the statistics shows that 25% of the people who do the virtual internship get job offers from the place that they did the internship. So this is our next move to help our students find a job. Internship is one way, and we are going to talk to other companies. I hope that we will be able to help more and more to our students. We haven't done it previously because most of our students work while studying with us. We have working adults, but as we continue to grow and we have thousands and thousands of graduates, we realize that there is a need for that, more people look for a job, more people look to improve their job, to get promotion, or to get a better job, and we need to help them, and we're doing it now.
What do you expect to happen to higher education in the years to come? Will current practices, like the predominance of degrees and the importance of degrees, the notion of lecturing to our students, the notion of focusing on outcomes rather than process, what kinds of things do you expect to see replaced in the years ahead, if any?
I think that now it's very popular to say that degrees are not important anymore. It's only the credentials and the job-related courses that you need to take, and that's the only thing that matters. I don't believe in it. I think that there is a very important value in creating well-rounded individuals, people who have critical thinking, people who are part of the global community, and higher education is what gives them the opportunity to get that. I think, though, that higher education is going to be much more relevant to the job market. Courses are going to be much more practical than they are right now, and universities will be judged more not only by the quality of their graduates and as human beings, but also by the jobs that they're going to get, how long it takes them to get a job. I think that, so this is one part. The second part, I believe that online is going to take a much more important role in higher education. Today in the US, every university offers at least a few courses online. I think it's going to happen worldwide. It offers the flexibility that traditional universities cannot offer, and more and more students will choose online, at least partially. Hybrid of online and offline is the future, I think, and I believe that there will be more students who will study by themselves rather than in a class where a professor lectures to them. Yeah.
Here's another one you've gotten. This one is the completion rate for MOOCs, massive online open courses. Varies from single digits to nothing, even like the numbers you have now, the 29%. The reality is that for open admissions universities in the United States, 29% is a very high graduation rate. Is 60%, do you think it's really going to be achievable?
First, a word about MOOC, and I will say what I said, not because one of the previous laureates is one of the inventors of the MOOCs, but I think that the MOOCs did amazing service to the world because it offered people the opportunity to learn for free areas that they want to master without having to pay money, without going to formal courses. At the same time, people were very disappointed from the MOOC because the completion rate was very low. Well, it was low because people did not have any reason to complete the MOOCs. You come to the MOOCs because you want to learn something, you're done learning, you go home. Why do you complete the course? Why would you take the final exam? There is no reason for that. So there was a big disappointment with the MOOCs, even though I think that it was a mistake. It's just the expectations was wrong to start with. I think that our expectations of graduation is realistic. I think that the more you use technology and help the students, you can achieve amazing results. Again, we are on the way. We improve our retention every week. If it turns out that I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to admit that I'm wrong. But so far, we're moving toward this direction.
Here's what's the long-term sustainability of your current funding model? As you expand and you need more free faculty and costs go up for students, Can you really sustain this model, and if so, how?
It's two separate questions, and I'll explain. First of all, we are sustainable. We don't need donations in order to operate. We do need donations to offer scholarships. We do need donations to develop new programs. Spanish was one example. Or anything that is out of the ordinary. However, right now, our current model is as such that if we don't have donation, we can continue our operation. It will slow our growth because we will not have enough scholarships to bring more students, but we will definitely be able to continue our operation. By the way, part of the scholarship that we give is our own surplus. We end with surplus, so this is part of our model. However, it is true that our ability to be sustainable based partially on having volunteers. We ran a business plan. What happens if we need to pay our faculty market salary? We will not be tuition free. We will have to charge more. It will still be a fraction of what universities charge right now. Because all the other elements, using technology, asking our volunteers, remember, they don't need to be full-time with us. The amount of time that they spend with us is relatively short. So we will continue doing all this. We will need to charge the students more. We will still be ultra low cost and sustainable. Yeah.
We've got two questions, if we can squeeze them in 36 seconds. The first one is, how do you recruit students? You said earlier that even though you had 2,000 articles the first year, it's still not a name that's known on the streets. How do you get students?
The beginning was mainly PR, meaning articles about us. Then we start using social media. And then our students stood up. We have tens of thousands of students that we consider them, they consider themselves student ambassadors. And student ambassadors are students who spread the word about the university. They are there to tell the world about whom we are. It's not enough. Still, many people don't know about us, but that's the main way for us to spread the word. And it works. Do we need to do more? Yes, we do need to do more, but it works. And we have amazing students who feel that they want to help us, help others to gain what they gained, and they do it.
We have a lot of additional questions. If we haven't answered your question, feel free to call Shai's room at any time and ask him your question. Shai, I want to thank you. I applaud what you've accomplished. It's extraordinary. And I can't think of anybody who deserved this honor more than you. Thank you for speaking with us today.
Thank you all, and thank you, Arthur. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shai, for your inspiration, and thank you, Arthur, for asking a broad array of questions. Thank you.